Well, I don't really have an intro for this one, so I guess we'll get started with the review. Lost Highway is the seventh film from director David Lynch and stars Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette, and Balthazar Getty, and is the story of Frank Madison, a musician who's living the life of luxury, except there's one problem. He has an estranged relationship with his wife, and their relationship is very cold, and soon he gets these envelopes in the mail with VHS tapes that show that somebody is filming their home and filming them inside their house. Soon they investigate this. Soon Fred is met by the mystery man who may have something to do with this. He's this man that appears out of nowhere and seems to know him very well, but Fred has never seen him before. Soon, Fred is accused of killing his wife and sentenced to prison, and then it is at this point that we switch gears, and Fred no longer is the Fred that we see played by Bill Pullman, and instead a boy named Pete, played by Balthazar Getty, who's a mechanic, and we see his life, and basically the film goes on from there, and it's really weird and really strange. Now, with what I've said, that plot sounds like a mess and completely confusing. How can Bill Pullman's character become Balthazar Getty's character? What in the world is this with the wife being killed? Well, that's the beauty of the film. There's a lot of things happening in this film, and there's just not one answer to it. In the film, we have Fred Madison, who I've told you is a musician. He's living the life of luxury with sex, drugs, and rock and roll. There's only one problem, is the sex part. He can't please his own wife, played by Patricia Arquette, and it really gets to him. He's not able to please her, and he's basically a failure in bed. And this is really a problem for him, and it's a problem that eventually leads to him killing his wife. There's only one problem. He doesn't know that he killed his wife. He's very upset when he learns it. And this is one of the themes of the film, is what do we really remember versus what happened. In a scene where Fred is asked if he has a video camera, his wife says no, Fred hates them. And Fred says, I like to remember things my own way. And that's something interesting that David Lynch has brought to the table. We like to remember things our own way. Videotaping something means that something is documented forever, but our memories can change and morph the story. And that's what Fred's talking about here, and this is what the film is about. When Balthazar Getty's character appears in Fred's cell and Fred disappears, it's not that Fred has physically disappeared. Fred has transformed himself into a new persona and believing that story rather than the story of him killing his wife. And so it's at this point that the film is no longer taking place in our own reality, but is part of the mind of Fred Madison's character. It's at this point that he is no longer Fred Madison, but Balthazar Getty's character, Pete. And he lives a life as a young man who's sexually active and everything that Fred Madison wanted to be. And he didn't get that when he was Fred Madison. So he's living inside his head in this cell, rotting away until his death day. And this is really, really interesting stuff that you may not pick up on in the first viewing. I had to do a little bit of research to fully understand it, and I tell you, I love this film. This film is absolutely fantastic, cold, and in ways it's really funny. The first half is perhaps my favorite part. The first half of the film is very cold, very dry, and very haunting. Bill Pullman plays the character very somber, and in fact, everybody does. In this first half of the film, everybody basically acts like they're almost half awake. That's what I noticed when watching this. Everyone's kind of half awake, half like in a dream, and everybody's not quite talking like a normal person and very slow in their delivery. And this can come across as boring, but I find it very engaging, mostly because the second half of the film with Balthazar Getty feels closer to a normal film. Everybody talks normal, everything's fast paced. In fact, I would say that the second half of the film with Balthazar Getty is very similar in tone to stuff like Blue Velvet and Wild at Heart, David Lynch's prior films. And you would think these two tones wouldn't mix well, kind of like how I had a problem with Fire Walk With Me in a way, where Fire Walk With Me has two tones going on. You have the first part of the film, which is very comedic, and then you have the second half, which is very horrific and a drama. Here, it's close enough to where the problems don't arise that were in Fire Walk With Me. Here, the tones are close enough together for it to work. As for Bill Pullman is fantastic. I've seen him in, many stuff before, but this is one role that I think stands out to me as one of the best he's done. He's very subdued, but that doesn't mean he's a bore. He's very engaging, and this is one of his best roles. Also, Patricia Arquette has to play a role that's very difficult. She plays two different people, and it's a very Hitchcockian thing where she plays twins, and it's really, really cool seeing her. She's really good, and this is a difficult role to pull off, but she is able to make each character distinct. Also, Balthazar Getty is fantastic. I really haven't seen Balthazar Getty in anything before. I saw him in Twin Peaks: The Return, but he's got such a minor role in that, and he's very young in this film. And he blew me away at just how good he is. He's really, really fun. He gives some great delivery, and I just love his part of the film, even though it's not as good as the first half of the film, in my opinion. The first half of the film with Bill Pullman is absolutely engaging, and I love that. It's very dark and grim, and I like the oppressive atmosphere that it had. Everything feels very cold in those scenes, whereas everything is bright and sunny and colorful in the next scenes with Balthazar Getty. Now, a lot of people have always wondered what the Mystery Man is. What does he symbolize? To me, the Mystery Man symbolizes the guilt that won't let go in Bill Pullman's character's mind. He's always there as a constant reminder of what he's done, but Bill Pullman is always trying to shut him out because Bill Pullman's character, Fred, can't deal with what he's done, killing his wife. He can't blame himself, so he has created a persona that is so different. But soon the Mystery Man begins to enter into the fake reality that Fred has created for himself. Basically showing that you can try to escape your past, but it will always catch up to you and you will never be able to be the same. I find this film very interesting and very engaging from beginning to end, and it has a resonance to it that is very different from Lynch's other works. In fact, David Lynch was inspired a lot by this movie by the O.J. Simpson case, because he was very interested in how O.J., who clearly killed his wife, was able to smile and laugh and go golfing with all this stuff that he did. How is he able to function? And he came across this psychological term that basically means that people will try to escape their reality, and so their mind plays a trick on them where they start to believe things that didn't really happen. And this is what Fred Madison's character does. He creates his own reality where things make sense to him. Thus, the theme of the film, where I want to remember things my own way, comes into play. Fred wants to remember things his own way because he does not want to remember what truly happened. And that's a really powerful statement. This film is filled with symbolism and motifs and just really great storytelling that I don't think is as appreciated as it should be. Because Lost Highway, even though I love the film, some people don't like it. Critics are very mixed on it, but I find this to be one of David Lynch's best work. That said, I love this film so much. I think this is my favorite David Lynch film. Yeah, Elephant Man is fantastic. It's well directed, it's well acted, it's well written, it's polished. Same with Blue Velvet. But this one has a jaggedness to it that I love. And guys, that's why Lost Highway gets a 10 out of 10. Guys, Lost Highway is a really great film and very interesting, and I think you should check it out to maybe see what you think about it because, as I said, people are very mixed on it, but it has gotten better reception with age, and I think it's something that people need to see if they want to get into David Lynch's filmography. It's very good and very cold, but it's a really interesting film and has a lot of good stuff in it that I think people can enjoy. Anyway, guys, that's all I got to say. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.